Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, Miraculous Ladybug, Star Wars Rebels, and Ruby. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Yep.
Today, Delaney and I will be discussing the latest episode of the English dub of Miraculous Ladybug, the Pharaoh. As always, we are only watching the English dub that airs on Nickelodeon, and the Pharaoh was the episode that aired this Sunday afternoon on Nick. No spoilers for the Korean or French airings of the show, just for the ones that Nickelodeon has aired. You can find out everything about this podcast at overlyanimated.com. Delaney, what did you think of the Pharaoh?
I thought this episode was great. So, one, Alia, bae. We've already established that Alia's the best. So,
yeah, obviously.
Like, a whole episode that's focused on Alia, more Ladybug stuff. It's just awesome, and we've actually had some, world building today. We had a little bit more info on Ladybug and, how everything works, and I think it's great. This episode was just... And also, I'm a, ancient history nerd. I'm a sucker for Egyptian stuff, and anything like that. And I really enjoyed how how our makeshift villain functioned today, and how he there was some mythology thrown in, and how his powers worked were very interesting. And he seems to be. This was definitely the more urgent, urgently in danger episode. There was actually some sense of peril, and
even though Alia didn't seem super concerned, but
is Alia ever concerned though?
No.
And then this episode seemed more I think we actually will have to. He's probably our more dangerous villain now. I think we'll have to redo who we think's the most powerful.
This seemed like our most powerful villain for sure.
So I liked it.
Yeah. Okay. So I have many questions after this episode. I thought it was pretty. It was okay / pretty good. I was a little frustrated by kind of the villain and the logic behind everything going on. But that being said, we finally got the first semblance of world building in the show, with this scene at the end with Tiki and learning that ladybugs have existed for forever, and that Tiki is an eternal being. Talking with the most cutesy voice ever. That scene is supposed to be sweet and endearing, and I think that's just the creepiest thing ever. That scene between Tiki and Ladybug at the end.
I love you, I'm adorable, but I'm forever.
But I'm just a all-powerful eternal thing who, I just didn't feel like telling you that and stuff like that. It was, yeah, just her voice. I think
oh, by the way.
I think her voice makes that horrifying. So I just feel like this episode has a lot of logic flaws, more than the normal Ladybug. I did appreciate them doing things with Egyptian mythology, and the Alia stuff was good. It was a little, I guess, less interesting cat and Ladybug interactions, less less notable things to talk about. This is the third episode in a row where we're all about Alia's blog, and just the way Nick aired the order of this, we didn't hear about it for the first 5, and now we just gotten 3 in a row that it's all about the lady blog.
We got Peter Parker going on here.
Yeah, so I like this concept for Alia. It's a little interesting because her voice actress, especially Alia, plays in the English version. She's super chill, so it's weird, kind of weird to see her being the one who's trying to figure out the identity, because she's just really chill about it. It's kind of refreshing to see that a little bit.
Yeah, it's really it's not very she just wants to know, but it's not the crazy reporter going off the rails stuff. It's just she's just super interested. But
okay, so my biggest takeaway from this is almost nothing in this episode makes any sense. From Alia not knowing that it's Marinette to our Adrian not knowing that it's Marinette. To everything happening with the Pharaoh. So this guy was one of their classmates' older brother or something. Alex, who was from.
We've seen their dad again.
Oh, was that the same dad that we saw who sat down with her at that dinner?
I think so, yeah. I think it's their dad.
I guess. So, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this villain, the Pharaoh. So he switches heads between Egyptian gods and gains some power based off of that. That's kind of cool, I guess. I assume everything's accurate, Egyptian mythology-wise there. Although, I don't know why one of them can make mummies and
Anubis, because he's the god of embalming.
Okay, that makes sense. Um,
That was actually kind of a clever, like, it was one of the more clever things they did, I thought.
yeah. This episode's like we want to play with Egyptian mythology. And so here's my big question, right? So like what the Pharaoh is trying to achieve here is what? Are we actually trying to bring someone back to life? Because if we are, then that means we have a whole other set of mythology going on in Ladybug where like all this Egyptian mythology is actually real. So is that
Yes.
what they are implying here, or was this just merely delusions of the villain?
Well, I don't know. Like, that's the thing, though, is like he actually made something happen. So I think this is also a question of the extent of what Hawkmoth can make people do.
Yeah,
Because, like,
definitely.
these
Yeah,
people,
we definitely questions about what Hawkmoth. Yeah. Well, okay,
granted,
if
also,
Hawkmoth can make a villain that can summon an ancient deity and can mummify people and can change faces, like why can't he just like break out of this little clock tower he's in or
I
something?
don't, that's the thing. Like, none of this makes sense. Like, Hawkmoth, like, you do all of this stuff, but, like, why can't you just go and do this stuff?
Yeah.
And then, what I was really, surprised about, well, I did have this concern, like, before, because obviously I was like, he's gonna be the villain, but before that happened, I was like, is the staff going to be it? And then are we gonna have to, like, break in, like, priceless historical object? Which, and since it wasn't the Akuma, that is to say, there, I guess it could be real. Like, this could be, like, that could be what they're going for, is that this, I mean, they could just be going for, like, all magic is real thing, like,
I haven't really gotten that impression from other episodes.
well, granted, we also haven't dealt with anything like this in other episodes.
It's like
Everything just
I
has to do
mean,
with
I
like the
guess
villain's
we always have the
powers.
villain who's like doing stuff, and like one of the villains can time travel, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And then, does Ladybug time travel? Wait, does she take like one of the villain's things? Is I forget how that happened already. Um, I think it's all because of Hawkmoth's influence, right?
Yeah.
So we've had villains in the past that can like influence the world around them, but um, they've never like I feel like they've never had an objective that is that is like taking something that's fake and making it real, right? That's
Yeah. So,
we don't. To be fair though, we don't actually see that happen. It just like almost happens. We see this
yeah.
giant dark cloud and like a beam shining up towards it.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know.
But that being
It's,
said, the scrolls were depicting the mythology, and Ladybug was there, and Tiki confirms
yeah.
that was real. So maybe
And that ladybug, like, stopped it the first
so
time.
I think that this is implying that this stuff is real, which you can't just like throw that out there. This is kind of a big deal. You should
Well, I
probably
think, well, I think it could also be, like, we can probably assume that like, originally when this happened, it was again under the influence of an Akuma.
ah
That's what Ladybug does.
yeah
So I think
yeah, that's possible too.
we could really just be explaining all of this magic with Akumas, which that makes sense with like that can work that we
Are
have
we now
Akumas
claiming
doing
that
this.
all world mythology that is now believed to be fake was actually the result of Akuma style activity and was just like it's only temporary because of that?
Well, I mean, we say temporary. It's temporary until Ladybug stops
So it
them.
could be going for a while. Yeah, that's true. We've never seen it happen for more than like an hour, so we don't really.
And like, I mean, this, I mean, just the idea that that there have always been ladybugs, and I guess technically, cat noirs and stuff
Well, we don't know
that we
that.
could,
We don't really know that one,
you
right?
know.
Yeah.
Granted, that's the other thing too, that this episode really, like, if this continues to happen, why does Cat Noir constantly, like, is it just because what's his face is lazy, or is there really, like, is he just not as powerful as Tiki? Which, I mean, I think that's fair. He
The Cat
probably
Noir
is just,
constantly has to like recharge.
yeah, like
Yeah,
he's
his
every time he has to go.
his
He even lasted even like not as long as all this episode.
yeah.
So like,
Yeah, it was he definitely had to change back pretty fast. Um so there's a lot of questions here. And I like how this is okay. So here there's the other big logic drop I think is why is in this episode, why is Tiki telling Marinette to take Alia to this exhibit in the first place? Do we ever get that question answered?
it's because of the ladybug in the drawing.
Because she wants her to see the ladybug in the drawing?
Because she wants to be like ladybugs over
Oh, so
5,000
her
years old.
plan was to have what happened at the end. Like she wants
Yeah.
Alia to see that.
Yeah, it just turned out Alia figured it out before because we Marinette had no idea because Tiki like was trying to like help her out and Marinette was like I don't know and couldn't she didn't see it and so then but Alia saw it later and then it all that's what the point was.
I think this is pretty sketchy. I don't know.
I mean, it just isn't.
How
I mean,
did Tiki expect this to go? I don't know if that would have worked without.
well, obviously it's Marinette. She has a little bit too much faith in Marinette sometimes, I think, because because she pointed, and that's why they walked over to
Yeah,
that
that's true.
papyrus, and then Marinette is sitting there like scanning it, like, oh my God, I don't know, she hasn't seen it yet, and then Alia sees it later,
Yeah.
and then that's when everything gets
Okay,
explained.
I see. So let's talk about Tiki, because Tiki we now know is an eternal being who controls the
Eternal, all-powerful being.
all-powerful being who controls these ladybugs. So when will you be worshiping God Tiki now with a super high-pitched voice? Is my question.
Right? Yeah, like
This is like such an anime where the gods are like have like cutesy girl voices, right?
or like tiny and adorable.
Yeah, tiny and adorable. This is like the most anime thing.
I mean, could we theoretically have like a malevolent?
Yeah,
Like,
I
like,
mean, Hawk is Hawkmoth eternal? Is that what we're saying now? Does
hmm,
Hawkmoth has to have his own Tiki?
that's a good question.
I mean, no, based on what we know, but it
Yeah,
could be a thing.
hmm.
So
Because then the other thing is we see him like release Akuma, but we don't know like how he does it.
yeah,
He
he
just
seems to be
does.
in control of that, but it's possible now. So let's speculate on Cat Noir. Do we think he is as old as it seemed like what you were saying
What's
because
his name?
his I don't know what his thing is called. I don't care, but we can look this up if you really want to. It seems like you were implying that you think that he is not as old as Plog is his thing.
Yeah, I don't
Plog.
think. I would
Because
assume
he's less
not.
powerful and he has to change back off
Granted,
more.
he's also lazy and just clearly just wants cheese all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Tiki might just be the overachiever one, but I feel like he's not as powerful or not necessarily has been around as long.
Yeah. That's very possible. I think
Granted, they did say there have always been superheroes. So, but granted, that doesn't equate to all Akamis are immortal. So,
yeah, right. She said superheroes, right?
it's just Kwame, isn't it? I keep messing that up.
Kwamis, yeah.
Well, I
I'm
get
calling
mixed
them
up in these
Goombas. I don't
words.
care what the fake words are. Yeah, you're right. They're Kwamis, yeah. So Kwamis and superheroes have always existed, yeah.
I don't know.
So is as a plot point we're gonna go for is that like historical figures are actually ladybugs? Like, are we gonna do like Joan of Arc was a ladybug and stuff like that?
Please, I'm for this.
That's that.
100%.
I think they're gonna do that at some point.
That'd
That'd
be
be pretty
pretty
cool.
great.
And we have
Be
a
stoked.
flashback episode. Yeah,
Yes, I'm about this.
yeah, um, yeah. So Cat Noir probably a newer one, but then it's like what's creating them. You know,
Yeah, like
the
how do
show's
they
never
come
gonna
into
answer that, but
no.
that's what I want answered. Let's talk about Alia's blog. So we see the people following. So this doesn't seem like a Tumblr. First of all, I like that everything's still in French.
Yes.
On the page. Like Nick didn't try to translate that. So Arisha also live streams, and I'm like, is this Periscope? What's happening here? And
It's just the internet will not be explained.
but it was just on her website. It's like it's just on her a live stream that was like on her
Ladyblog.com.
ladyblog.com. Ladyblog.tumblr.com. Still like disappointingly not this.
Sigh.
Yeah. Um I don't know. What do you think of this aspect of Alia's character? They seem to be hammering out a lot
I mean,
recently.
it's spectacular, really. Like, it's great.
The problem with it is it just makes it so much less believable that Alia doesn't know who Marinette
Well,
is.
it's so much more frustrating.
It's
It's
so
just like
frustrating.
really. Granted, I mean, hello, Marinette and Cat Noir spend so much time together, and like they haven't figured it out yet. Like, really.
That's also incredibly
Oh my
frustrating.
God. Also, especially since Cat Noir, like,
Cat Noir in this episode is given the evidence to consider that it might be someone in his class, and he still doesn't figure it out.
well, and also like there's like so they go to so they. Well, granted, he doesn't know this, but Alia knows. There's only like their high school's the only one that uses that textbook, and like they don't. It's not like they go to like a super big high school.
Yeah. It's
Like
there's
it's
like 43 girls that could be, yeah.
yeah, 43 girls. Like really, and then she doesn't even rule out Marinette. That's the really annoying part.
Yeah, she's like, it could be you, wink, and then no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, are you serious? Like, come
Also, in
on.
this episode, we know that Marinette is at the location where it happens, and Ladybug comes out right away. Marinette like ducks behind an exhibit to transform, and then Alia still doesn't
Yeah.
figure it out.
And then at the end, she's like, "Oh, I was a mummy." Like, really? Granted, that was
To be fair,
genius
that
on
was
her.
like actually really good. Yeah, Marinette's
That was
actually pretty
really
smart.
good job. But come on,
That was yeah, it was really
so
dumb.
frustrating.
Well, so another question is why does Tiki want so bad for Alia not to know who Marinette is?
Yeah,
Tiki
that's
was the
not.
one pushing this really hard.
Yeah, and I don't like. I guess it's like for her safety, like, because I mean, that's. I mean, that's. I mean, they don't even really have to explain that too much. I don't think is that you have to like that's the whole point of having a secret identity. Like you have to protect it because you could be in danger, and if Hawkmoth knew,
I guess, yeah, yeah. Okay. Also, how does are we implying in this? I thought about that this episode. Does this episode imply that, or does the show imply that Hawkmoth does not know who they are? Do we care about
yes,
that?
I think he doesn't know because
Okay, so
otherwise
how
he'd
much
be
of an
like.
idiot is Hawkmoth if he doesn't know who they are too? Like that's
And that's my thing is like Hawkmoth like sees everything, but he doesn't see that they're not
he can
because
just
like
yeah.
because he's like, okay, this person's sad. We're gonna make them evil and
It,
they're gonna fight stuff.
Hawkmoth in this episode transforms someone in the same
But then
place
it's like
as Marinette and does not figure it out. I guess.
how like does how does he see
Well, we don't know
like
anything
what
about him now.
this makes like a lot of it there. I mean, this show is like plot hole after plot hole. Like as many spots as there are on Ladybug, there are plot holes. But like
Yeah,
I don't.
I don't know. This normally I'm not thinking about it. I think this episode made me think about it a lot more than normal, just
Yeah.
because of how absurd it was.
Yes.
I like one aspect of this episode I like is how much French culture we see, even if it's typical stereotype of
Yeah.
French stuff. Like they're at Le Louvre, we see, yeah, we see the what's it called, and the painting, and
The painting.
yeah, the most famous painting, and
Do you not? They literally stole the Mona Lisa
the
last
Mona Lisa.
time.
Did they steal at least that last time? I
Yes,
don't
he
know.
stole it.
Yeah, so we've
This
done
is
this,
the
but
painting Cat Noir took. Well, the fake
we've
Cat
been at
Noir.
the Louvre last episode too. Yeah, that's true.
And I think, I think we're almost always at the Louvre, but like we're not necessarily inside of it. Like
I guess he got
it's in
trapped
the
there last
background
time.
of a lot of shots.
Yeah, I mean, we seem to they do care about like I mean, so is the Eiffel Tower, right? So we're definitely codifying the location as France quite often. Um,
The Louvre is like oddly specific. I mean, obviously you're gonna see the Eiffel Tower like almost anywhere you are in Paris because it's the Eiffel Tower.
I mean, I don't know that. I don't know if that's true. I don't
Well,
know how tall it
I mean,
is.
it's a much larger structure than like the glass
Yeah,
pyramid at the Louvre.
yeah. The Pharaoh. So we like the idea behind him. Do you think he was a strong villain overall?
I mean, he's the most interesting villain I think we've had. Well, aside from like Alex, but
I'll
like,
take Alex over him, and I'll take the first episode, the stormy weather, over him
well,
too.
I think he's like his powers are the most interesting.
Yeah, I just don't think he's very interesting.
Yeah, he's not that
You know?
interesting. Also, it doesn't make like does he become Tutankhamun because he's like he wants Nefertiti specifically. Like he could have like
Yeah, I guess he's taught that's what he's supposed to be, right?
yeah, because like that was like the weird part for me. That was the part where I was like, why do you like I think they could have like done that a little bit better.
Yeah, I don't know
Like
how
I
he
don't
just becomes a historical figure, right? Because
yeah.
regardless of the mythology, right, the taught
Yeah, like
existed,
what?
so I don't know about
Because
that.
like I thought they were gonna kind of go towards like maybe Alex and his mom's dead or something, and they were gonna do something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know if that was the super strong aspect of the episode. Other aspects, talk. So also Ladybug and Cat Noir like talk about Alia by name in this episode, yet
Yes.
neither realizes that they both know each other. They both mention her by name.
I thought that was gonna happen, like, because the way, like Ladybug was saying, I was like, I was like, Cat Noir's gonna say something, but no, it's because they both just know Alia. God,
Yeah, you can't figure that out. Come on.
they're
If by brave you mean bossy, feisty, and bold, then yeah, that's her. I think that was
shipped
I
twos.
think that was Ladybug talking to Cat. Like,
Yes,
so you don't realize that she knows her after that statement. But yeah, the shipping is
yeah.
strong.
The ship is very strong in this episode.
Hmm. What else we got here? Yeah, the 5,000-year-old Ladybug. You don't look a day over 3,000. Now you know why I'm so much wiser than you. I think that's the best banter we had between the two of them today.
Yes, that was pretty good.
So I wonder if Adrian now just thinks that he's with some eternal being, right?
I mean, that's probably like natural conclusion to draw based on the information he's been given.
But like, can't his Kwame tell him that no, like I'm
Do
just
you think he will?
no, definitely not, based on what we know about his Kwame. Uh,
Like that'll like come up and he'll get so mad. And the coffee's like, "What?" Like, God, because like he doesn't do anything.
I'm the only one that can capture his Akuma, and you're the bravest out of both of us. Wink, says Ladybug to Cat Noir.
Just and he's like, "I wish that because I'll
Yeah,
pretend
and
you actually think that's true."
I like how he just knows that she doesn't believe it at
Yeah.
this point. It's pretty good. I do like establishing that it is. This is I think the first time they've said that she specifically is the one that has to de-evilize,
Yeah.
which is interesting. Why does Cat exist then if he can't de-evilize?
Yeah, because then the thing is like, I mean, it
It's
makes
it
sense.
seems like his purpose is as an auxiliary to Ladybug if he can't de-evilize Akumas.
Yeah, so then the question is, are there other heroes like Ladybug who can do this, or is it just Ladybug and the others are just auxiliaries? Because I continue to watch, like, there are other ones, there have to be. So, and we've seen two other ones, like not in the show, but like in the intro, like the theme song there is.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this dynamic is in other cities, if like there's
Yeah.
two of them, if there's a primary and auxiliary stuff like
Like it
that.
and I'd be fine even if it was just like Marinette's like not even watching TV, but there's a news story on and you can like see or like you hear it.
Yeah,
I'd be fine with that. Like
yeah,
that'd be great.
that'd be interesting. Also, I forgot about this. We have Alia just being super smart this entire time, like getting the villain to talk about
I
his
pay
plan,
attention. Yeah.
and and then also like telling Marinette where the Akuma is, and she didn't even know. Uh,
Yeah.
she's like,
And then
yeah,
she's like, "What? I pay attention."
yeah.
So good.
It's like
So good.
she knows as much as Marinette about all this stuff at this point. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for what Tiki tells her at the end of this, I guess.
May
And
maybe
also, Marinette specifically saving Alia's phone for some reason. Like, I guess that's the priority now.
adorbs.
Yeah, I
Did you
guess.
see that she has like a ladybug charm on her
Yeah,
phone?
too. Yeah, that's a super
Cute.
anime thing too, Japan-y thing.
Yeah.
Um, before the Circle of Darkness is what that thing in the sky was called.
The circle of
I like how they
literally that's what it's
randomly
called.
call it that. Yeah, that's good. What do you
It's
think?
really
Lucky
great.
Charm giving her a fake ladybug outfit. Okay, so I feel like this is a thing that should be applicable in every single situation where you just get fake miraculouses to chase off the villain with. I think they could apply to every episode.
Yeah, I don't
So can we just do this from now on?
I don't what is the Lucky
Also,
Charm
Lucky
like?
Charm has the ability to like create products, like
Yeah, like
unless there is a fake ladybug outfit, which there might be, but
no, I'm sure that's the thing. I'm sure there is a fake ladybug outfit. Like I'm sure it's like costuming kids always want
why
to be
doesn't she
like
just okay? So Marinette, now you know that this is useful, so just buy fake ladybug outfits, take the miraculouses from there, and like always have them on you,
yeah,
so you can
like
do this every time. I feel like
but
that's
then I
okay.
guess like but I guess it wouldn't because now she's done it once. Hawk Moth will like no.
I get yeah, it's still ambiguous how much Hawkmoth is really in control of them, but yeah. This
What?
episode put off showing Hawkmoth saying "get the miraculouses" for like a while until the very end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he kind of let him like go through the entire thing. It's like no to get the like really
He was like, I want to see where this is going. I think that's what
yeah.
I do.
Like
Yeah,
he wanted to see what was gonna happen.
yeah. Um,
Also, obviously, it was a ploy, but Ladybug, Marinette was gonna sacrifice herself
yeah,
for Alia.
yeah.
Important.
This is a big shipping episode today. I actually think the Maralia was more real than the Ladybug and Cat today.
Def.
Yeah, I think
Definitely.
so. Debate that claim in the comment section. I'm telling you, for one episode, it was more real.
It
Um,
was more real, super real.
Ladybug Dahlia, much older than a high school student, that's for sure. And then like,
Like, and then she like trips away.
yeah,
You
got
dork.
mummified. Ladybug's at least 5,000 years old. Uh,
Why is she carrying around her textbook?
oh yeah, and
And
she
then
has the
she's
text, and then she gets the textbook back.
no, I mean like so she dropped it right.
Yeah.
Literally, also they're literally in front of like the bakery.
Oh
Like they're
really?
in front of her
I guess it's
house.
that close.
Yeah, they're literally in front of her house. And then she like arcs over and then she drops it. Like you don't have a backpack, lady, but you don't have pockets. You have your little bag that's
So
like
she set it down when she transformed.
no, that's the thing. No, no, like how she dropped it the first time. Why did you have your textbook?
Oh yeah, in the very beginning, she's like swinging. Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. Why was
Ladybug,
she? Yeah, that's
why?
a good point. Why
Why
she
did
carrying
you
it?
like
To be
I
determined.
don't even
Um,
sigh.
yeah, and then we have this discussion at the end. Tiki's watched over Ladybug since the beginning. I'm older. I'm older than. You must be at least 5,000 years old. I'm older than that. Oh my god. Seriously, I think that scene is so creepy.
It's I don't know. I don't like. I wasn't. It didn't like creep me out, but I understand why you think it's creepy. So like, I feel you.
Tiki is now just the scariest character on the show, like by far.
We already knew Tiki was like all powerful and like could do all this stuff, and now it's like, oh my god.
Okay, I want to see super deep Ladybug meta on who created the Kwamis, who like how did Hawkmoth originate, and just to see like I want to go as deep as I do with Steven Universe in
Yeah,
terms of
I
the
want to
origin.
know.
We
I would assume it's kind of like a, good versus the forces of evil. Like we have the Kwami to combat the Akuma.
yeah, I guess seems like
But then like why? But then like why would you create something like the Kwami that have to have a human
they just
to
it all
capture?
just seems super specific and super like localized in terms of
Yeah.
effect. It's just it can just all be resolved super easily. And then, of course, Marinette's at the end is like, "Good thing my history test is on Egyptian mythology." Yeah, that was the worst.
Such, such a, it
I
just so
actually hated that. That was the worst.
no, it made me laugh. It just so like obviously it's not Disney, but it's just so Disney
That was
cartoon.
super Disney. Yeah, that was yeah.
It was so Disney
Uh,
cartoon. It was great.
okay. I don't. The show like that's the moment where I think the show is being purposefully dumb, and like the show alternates between trying to take itself seriously and being purposefully dumb like a lot. And I just
Yes.
it's I don't know. It's finding its identity still.
I would like to say that I actually for once noticed the dub in this episode, and it
There was
wasn't
one
good.
line when Cat says something and they didn't show him talking, and it was like they had to force the line onto him doing other stuff.
Well, it's like they had a part where Ladybug's talking, but like it was complete mismatch. Like it was bad. Her mouth was moving, but then it was like the word. It was terrible. I can't remember I can't remember what line it was, but it was like atrocious.
I think they're overall doing a pretty good job with the dub,
Yeah.
but
Well,
like
this is the first time I've like you've noticed
yeah,
before, but this is the first time I was like, this is bad.
one of the two episodes we discussed last time I said it was bad. Which one was it?
Yeah.
I don't remember. And then
I think it wasn't. It was like it was the episode that was new that week. I
yeah,
think.
so the last
Yeah.
two that have aired, I think, have been the worst dubbed episodes. So I hope they're not just getting lazy with it now,
Yeah.
or like they're rushed to meet Nick's airing schedule or something like that. You know. But yeah, overall decent episode of the show. Some interesting world building at the very least. Next week, something's happening. We're gonna be very excited next week. Just saying.
Oh my God! Why would you say that?
I've seen the plot description. We're gonna be
Oh my
excited.
God. I will say, I did see a screen cap for this episode before we saw this episode,
Okay.
and it was just Alia like in the beam of light.
Ah,
So I did
see.
have that part like
Interesting. Don't look up the description for next week. It'll be. It'll
I
be a
don't ever
surprise.
look at the
Okay,
description.
good.
It's just when I scroll things on Tumblr and I see screen
And
caps. I'm like,
then
no, scroll.
I see that we are scheduled for the show continuing the next 2 weeks after next week as well. So, and we're basically so like right now, next week. This was episode 7 aired in terms of the Korean airing. The next week is 6. Then the next 2 weeks we get 9, then 8. So after 3 weeks, we'll be through 9 episodes and the same 9 episodes that were scheduled to be aired. And then that's just 4 more that have aired in Korea and France already. Like they're still stalled, or at least in terms of I assume someone would update the Wikipedia if the new episodes aired.
Yeah.
But basically Nick could catch up and maybe even surpass their airing. I assume they would not surpass. Like there might be a break after 13.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll figure it out.
Cool. So that's all for our discussion on the fair. Let us know what you thought. Other things you were perplexed by in terms of the plot and where the shipping is strongest right now. Leave us YouTube comments. Tumblr asks.
It's
Site
definitely
comments.
Alia.
Definitely Alia and Marinette for sure. I'm Dylan Nice and that's Delaney Stovall. Find out everything at overlyanimated.com. You can support us at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to our current patrons, Shayna, Mitch, Cordell, Beatrice, Nate, Andy, Jamie, and Rachel, aka Heyna, Fever, Mitch, Cordell, University Beatrix Strange, Buzz Lightyear, Mailman, and Rachel Rose. We'll be back covering the show next week on Sunday as always. And give us a subscribe on YouTube, I guess, if you want to keep up on the podcast, and follow on iTunes.
And I made Dylan put our podcast into playlists.
Oh yeah, this will be in a playlist now. So
now you won't hate yourself. on the YouTube
I mean, I
channel.
don't really think it's that much of an inconvenience, but okay.
Well, I mean, it kind of is.
I'm not big on
Now
the
they can
YouTube
pick. They
mechanics,
can be
though.
like, I just want to listen to Steven Universe or Ladybug. And they'd be like, click,
I mean, I
click.
did that already on iTunes, so I guess it makes sense to do it on YouTube too. Okay. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.